Again, my name is Elliot Morjan. I'm a commander with the Sheriff's Department. I run the jail portion of the Sheriff's Department. 7 jails we currently have open. We have approximately 17, just a couple stats for you, approximately 17,000 inmates right now currently in custody of the Sheriff's Department. We normally release about 115 to 120,000 people come through our doors yearly. So that's kind of the numbers that we're looking at. You're probably wondering, why is the Sheriff's Department here in the city of Glendora? We don't patrol the city of Glendora, but I think it's good because if somebody gets arrested here in the city and eventually gets remanded to custody, eventually they can't stay here in the city of Glendora jail. They eventually come to us in LA County. So if ICE comes and wants them, they qualify, we turn them over. And just to give you a couple stats, in the last 2 years we've turned over roughly about 1,000. Last year I believe was about 1,200 individuals over to ICE. The year before was about 1,000. Out of the, like I said, about 115, 120,000 that we release. It's roughly about 1% or less than 1% that we return over to them. So again, I don't want to go into the weeds. I know you guys laugh, but remember, it's not the number of the 120-some, because not all 120-some thousand ICE wants. There was only issued about 5,000 some detainers that were issued. So 1,000 out of 5,000 that are going over. So I don't want to take all the time and get into the weeds. I know you're going to have a ton of questions, but I think
I'd like to ask this because otherwise I'm going to forget.
Excuse me.
You just said that you
sir.
said 1,000.
Sir, excuse me.
That when 5,000 requests have been made by ICE.
Excuse me, sir.
So 4,000 people who ICE has requested be detained, they're being released.
Sir, I promise you can ask your question. Just a couple housekeeping items prior to.
Well, she asked after she was done. She had asked, so I thought it was each person as they're done. Otherwise, we forget.
Perfect.
Hi, Todd Peterson. Hi, Commander Morhan. I'm a resident of Glendora for 32 years. I'm a retired Pasadena police sergeant. I've dealt with illegal aliens many, many times over the years. We never, in Pasadena, ever ask victims or witnesses what their immigration status is. I know the Democrats in Sacramento want you to believe that's what law enforcement does. That has never been the case, never has been the case. Here's the problem. You just said that 1,000 detainers were actually followed through on, while 5,000 were requested. That means 4,000 illegal aliens who were in custody for another crime, not a federal crime, were released. Excuse me, if you're going to interrupt me, I'm going to keep going.
Question, please.
So I would like to know, of those 4,000 people who were released, can you confirm every one of them had been arrested for a state crime initially and were not there because the feds had pulled them in just because they were here illegally? Is that accurate, that you only have arrestees who were arrested for committing state crimes in California? Petty theft, robbery, burglary, rape, on and on and on.
Great. So the 1,000 that are turned over, and there's certain criteria. 5,000 detainers that we received, correct? 1,000 that were turned over. There's certain criteria that we have to meet. SB 54, they have to meet certain crimes. If they don't meet, then they get released.
No, interrupted me. I'll come back.
I would like to just clarify a few things. There was a lot of information put out tonight, and I can guarantee I won't retain it all. But what really jumped out at me is everything that was read tonight with the all of these SB 54, all of these things. To me, it appears that what these have done is basically put obstacles in front of every single law enforcement agency, and that all of the illegal aliens are the ones who are benefiting by all of these things.
That's right.
We the people,
Well said. Woo! Well said.
we the people who have to live here with this are basically victims.
Yes.
So
We are a nation of laws.
So I want to know, first of all, we're talking about having that Glendora be a sanctuary city. First of all, this city, the infrastructure will not support a sanctuary city. If you look at transportation, housing, the whole thing, it will not support a sanctuary city.
So quickly for the entire group, this evening's conversation is not about sanctuary cities. We're not talking about becoming a sanctuary city. It's not a city council meeting. There is no official action.
Just had to put that out there.
We agree.
So, and with that,
Been any discussion of the city being a sanctuary? So we're-
Yay.
is there a specific question?
I have a question. I have a question.
We'll be there.
Good evening, everyone. Buenos noches.
Where do you live?
English.
English is the official language.
Please, we ask you remain respectful and not yell out from the audience. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to know first, when publicly did the City Council of Glendora notify the public and agendize the item that they voted on, SB 54, on May the 8th? Prior to that, in the closed door session, when did they do this publicly, notify the public that they're going to vote on this matter? And secondly, why did Councilmember Boyer and Councilmember Eloise, why did they vote against having this town hall meeting? Thank you.
This evening, as we're stated in the rules, we will not be discussing about the city of Glendora as a topic of learning on SB 54.
That within SB 54, the category of domestic violence does not allow you as a sheriff, your department, to cooperate with ICE or to turn over based on a detainer. Are people convicted or illegal immigrants convicted of domestic violence exempt because of SB 54?
No, 273.5, which is domestic violence, is a crime that we would turn over to, right, could be a wobbler, but it is a crime that can be
That's
turned
not
over
true.
to us.
That's
It's not required.
not required. That's
Voluntary on the sheriff. It's voluntary. You don't have to.
exactly.
You just
He's only.
So if it's a misdemeanor, they get released on our streets again.
Excuse me, sir.
I have a right to clarify that.
My question is for the city.
Two questions here. First, I think the lady over here, she mentioned the supremacy clause, but I believe you forgot to mention the Immigration and Nationalization Act of 1952, which is also still federal law, which states that anything that stands as an obstacle to the accomplishment and execution of the full purposes and objectives of Congress is banned. So I would like for you first to address how the Immigration and Naturalization Act doesn't overpower the state law. And then what that leads me to is the estimated costs of all this. If you're looking at right now, the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals is having a full en banc hearing in regards to if the federal government can withhold funds from sanctuary cities. If they rule that they can, there will be a disagreement between circuit courts, the 9th Circuit and the 7th, which will then go to the Supreme. And with our great Justice Gorsuch and our great Justice Kavanaugh.
Yes, yeah,
A final question, please.
You know, I have only one interesting comment about justices and their tenure on the Supreme Court. Earl Warren was a Republican nominated by a Republican president who became the most progressive justice in the history of the Supreme Court.
We didn't want your comment.
Excuse me, last part, and then we'll hop to Ms. Lee to answer the first part of the question if she has the answer to that.
Just in response to that, gentleman.
Last part of the question, please.
Okay. Well, I also believe that those people weren't appointed by Donald J. Trump, the God Emperor. Okay. So,
Thank you, sir. So the answer to your question is that federal statute does say that. But that's not the governing statute that controls whether or not that state statute preempts state law. It's the supremacy clause of the Constitution. So that will have to be litigated, but here's what one federal judge said, all right? I'm not the federal judge. Don't shoot the messenger. This is what the judge said, not what I said. And that is, refusing to help is not the same as impeding.
That's a circuit judge, though, right?
Excuse me, sir, please. Sir.
Absolutely not.
Good point.
All right, we'll move on to the next question.
Can someone explain to me we have a law, a federal law, harboring subsection 1324A18 in the books. If anybody in this room harbors an illegal alien, we will be arrested and prosecuted. So my question is, what makes Basura, De Leon, and the Governor Brown exempt from that law?
Good question. Great question. Woo-hoo. Good question, Justin.
I would encourage you to litigate that in fact.